Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode. Here's day for episode 2 of season 2 of part 23 in total for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And if you guys missed round 1 for the Australian Grand Prix, guys, watch the race by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen before we jump into any further spoilers. Now for this episode, no rain expected, and a small disclaimer from me at the start, guys. And unfortunately, there is no replay cams in this video in the race because since the patch has come out, I've had a little bit of a glitch where I keep having basically my game freezes / stops working in black screens. So when events go from one event to the other, or there's changing from session to session, or there's loading screens, my game stays on a black screen loading, and it just keeps loading, and nothing happens. And yeah, I have to end up basically closing my game and restarting it, but obviously that meant losing the replay cams because I had to use a mid-session save. So I do apologise for that in advance, but it's nothing I can really do. It's out of my hands ultimately, and hopefully that does get resolved in a patch down the line and does get fixed. Now in terms of practice, this was a tricky one at Bahrain because I started off the weekend with, I believe, 106% AI, and it wasn't that great. We were struggling around here. As usual, Bahrain is quite tricky, and it's gone back to being quite strong for the AI since the new patch. You know, with the faster cars, the AI have got pretty quick around here, and it's going to be quite a challenge, I think, in qualifying to try and do a good job. And my target is to try, and of course, try and get Q3 and try and get, maybe a top 6 finish, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if we can try and pull something out of the bag. But like I said, just to reaffirm, this video will not have any replay cams, guys, in the race. Before you put any comments down below, I've explained why. So, yeah, hopefully you can understand, and we can move on. Now, for this one, let's see how we go. After practice, I actually I stuck with 106% AI for Q1, and I wanted to see if the pace was the same in qualifying as it was in practice, and to see the AI, if they were as strong in the qualifying as they were on Friday, and we'll find out in a moment's time how they were. But you can see that everyone's getting ready for qualifying, and everyone's getting to the action stations as we're about to hit the track here. And in Q1, we're going to try and go on the mediums first of all, and try our luck on the slower tyre, and see if we have the pace on it to try and go to Q2, and try and save a set of soft tyres. So here we go then. We hit the beautiful Twilight Bahrain for the first time, and straight away you can see on my lap here I'm about 1.5, quite a long way off the pace to be honest. And yeah, it wasn't looking good. Sector 1 was okay, I was only about half a second off, and then I lost about 1.2 again for sector 2. It wasn't great, and the actual lap in itself wasn't that bad. I think the AI was just really strong around here, and the setup was okay as well. I was quite happy with it, but eventually we crossed the line 2.4 off the pace and currently P20, so I had to go back out again and run the soft tyres. So you can see here towards the end of the lap we are going to improve by around 8.5 tenths of a second, and that's going to give us P14. Not as good as I thought, I got to be honest. The lap was okay, but I thought we'd jump up a little bit higher than that, but it's only P14. Luckily for us though, the actual gap from 14th and the 15th was quite big. It was about 2.5 tenths, and yeah, we comfortably jumped into Q2, and by about 2 tenths of a second. Sebastian Vettel, to be fair, P5, and the gap to the Red Bulls was pretty damn big. They were really quick, and in Q2 you can see here again running the soft tyres in this session. This was my only lap in this part of qualifying. It's actually a pretty good one, to be fair, so we're going to stay on board and see how the lap got on. So straight away, 1, 2 and 3 absolutely spot on so far as we've got the hill towards turn 4, and they're going to try and bring the car over to the left hand side, turn in at the 50-meter board, and really focus on your exit out of here. That's absolutely critical to really get that smooth traction and good exit speed as we now go in towards the S's here through 5 and 6 and then 7 and 8, of course, at the hairpin here. And it's all about making sure you don't knock up too much. Try and hit that apex if you can, and then on the power as soon as possible as we get on the power, and now race down towards turn 9, which feeds into the tricky turn 10, where locking up is so easy on this game, and you've got to really use the gears to really get the rotation as we open up the DRS. And so far, in my opinion, it's been a perfect lap. Really strong lap from my perspective. And I actually went down to 105% AI for Q2 because in Q1 it was just too hard on 106. I had to go down to 105 to make it a little bit more easier and a little bit more realistic as we go through sector 2 now, and we're 6 tenths down on Lewis Hamilton, so that's not too bad. We've dropped about 4 tenths there, which is not, compared to Q1 where we dropped about over a second, that's much better. So yeah, not too shabby so far. One more sector to go. Let's try and hold it together here as we go to the final corner, attacking the inside curve. I probably turned a little bit too early and compromised my line and didn't get the best exit, which was a little bit annoying, but still DRS open up to the line, and we do go P10 on the bubble. Not ideal. Again, I expected better with that lap, but only P10. And to be fair, I thought to myself, I'm going to take a tactical decision here, and I could have gone back out and probably improved a little bit and maybe improved by like a tenth, but at Bahrain, you really want that one-stop strategy. It's so much more effective and really powerful. So I wasn't too bothered if I got knocked out. As you can see here, I could have gone back out, but I decided to simulate the session with P10, and then right at the end, we got pushed down to P12. And in the end, you know what? I'm not too disappointed with that. And I think we'll do better in the race if we start from P12. But to be fair, I've got to be honest, I don't think I would have found the 3/10 to Sergio Perez. That was a lot of time to find, and I probably would have got knocked out anyway. I had about a tenth, maybe 10th and a half through that final sector, but that was it. The rest of the lap was perfect, so I don't think I would have had the pace anyway to get into Q3. So overall, we saved a set of tyres, saved the engine a bit, and we're going to have a much better strategic position for the race tomorrow. So overall, I call that a success, and hopefully we can try and do something tomorrow in the race when it comes to strategy. With that being said, though, that is it for Bahrain and qualifying here. Now we're going to jump into the race, and let's see if we can try and turn this P12 into a positive race result.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let me ask you about Renault. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Devon Butler put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position with Pierre Gasly alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and Faber, Perez, Ricciardo, Leclerc, and Kevin Magnussen. Verstappen, Martinez, Kimi Raikkonen, and Russell. Giovinazzi, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Carlos Sainz. Norris and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, round number 2 of the season, and we start from P12 on the grid, and overall, not too bad. I kind of wanted this in qualifying because I know that the one-stop is the way to go, and I can't really make a one-stop work on soft tyres. So, yeah, we're going to try and commit to this strategy and make it work. Just like Australia, hopefully it's the way to go. The difference, though, compared to Australia, is that in that race we did a medium soft. This time we're doing a medium hard in terms of tyre compounds. Fuel-wise, we're running 1 extra lap of fuel, and we're going to try and avoid the soft tyres in their entirety. Hopefully this is the best way to go, and this strategy pays off, and hopefully we've got enough pace. Last season, we had pretty good race pace, so hopefully we can do it again here today. With that being said, let's jump into it, and let's see how we get on. It's time for round 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's build up these revs to the optimal range as the 5 red lights come on. Lights out and away we go. Not the best start you'll ever see. We're going to cover the inside. Verstappen in front of us is actually starting on the hard tyres, quite surprisingly. We're going to send one down the inside though and try and get past Max if we can. We're going to run a nice wide line there and try and squeeze out the Alpha. A little bit of contact there with Danny Rick as well on the exit as we now go up towards turn 4. Getting a nice toe from the Renault. We're going to try and swing one around the outside. Can we get Magnussen as well? Possibly. He's kind of boxed in there, but we don't quite find the grip. You're going to get Ricciardo though. Or not, he tries to go back down the inside, but he doesn't quite make it work. Can we get a run here on Magnussen? Yes, we do. Perez as well. A 2 for 1. A little bit of contact down the apex as Perez turns in on me. But
good from the start.
Job done. We've got through. And we're up into P8. And right in front of us, Lucas Weber, also on mediums. That's a good start for us. Very, very aggressive start, but it worked out okay. And the tyres are working okay at the minute. Let's see if we've got the race pace to contend here and try and stick with these guys. I think race pace should be better for us, of course. We always perform better in the race. So hopefully that's the case. We could try it and have a decent weekend. But that's a good start from us on these medium tyres. And a very aggressive lap 1 so far, but it's worked out. Then we've got to try and keep up if we can with the cars in front. So let's get head down and get to work. On to lap 2, 3 wide here. Weber, Leclerc and Bottas into turn 1. This could get interesting. We're going to just sit back for now and let this develop, as there could be some fireworks. They're also going to lose a lot of time, which is good for me. I can try and catch up. Bottas currently kind of the slow guy there, and the one that's kind of out of sync with the racing point, as we make good progress here. We're now behind Weber. Let's see if we can try and maybe make something happen as we go through the S's. Can we maybe someone down the inside at the hairpin possibly? No, not quite. That's quite poor. Struggling there with the curbing as it's making the car bounce. I've got quite low ride height, so I've got to be careful with certain curbs around here. Okay guys, we're setting the pace in the Mercedes. On to lap 3 now. DRS will be enabled and it's 3 wide once again.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Look at these guys literally just exchange actual positions on the straight. Weber's trying to get the move done, and this time I think he has got it. We got a little bit of oversteer on the exit.
Is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
Let's try and keep up though. Bottas going to go for the move on Leclerc here. We're going to take a nice wide entry, get down to the apex, and there we go. I think Bottas is going to lose out here on Leclerc. Let's try and set up an overtake on the racing point and try and get past. Very close here. Down the inside at the hairpin, lock up on the front right. Let's try and get the traction down if we can. Can we get in front of Valtteri here? Not quite. Bottas straight back down the inside. He's hot into the hairpin though. He sends one and it doesn't quite work out. He is going to pick up DRS though. So Bottas not giving up the fight just yet. He goes defensive. I'm going to try and switch back underneath again here. No way past though. Too much grip on that soft tyre still. That tyre's still quite fresh, a bit dirty as I have to get off the throttle up the hill. So we can try and get past Valtteri here and try and keep up with Leclerc and Weber if possible. Weber of course in the medium, so that strategy is important. Here we go, getting the run on Valtteri. I'm going to just get off the gas.
Use some of this energy. Increase the ERS deployment.
A little bit of contact there on the brake zone as Bottas kept on coming across, and I tried to open up a little bit, but we're going to pick up the DRS here, so this should be a fairly simple move. I'm going to use some overtake as well, because I feel like I might be under threat from behind, because the Renault of Perez has got DRS down towards turn 1. Let's get down to that apex. Perez almost taking me out of there, but we are ahead. Up at the P7 now. Let's try and keep up with Charles Leclerc if we can, and let's not let him get away. Race pace already much better though on this medium tyre. Good pace, personal best, 1.1 behind Leclerc. Hopefully we can get within his DRS in the next DRS zone going up towards turn 4. I'm trying to shake off Perez as well behind in the Renault, see if I can get over a second ahead. Looks like we're not going to get DRS on Leclerc here, so hopefully by the end of the lap we're on the back of him, fingers crossed, and we can try and make a move. Okay, I'm within range now of Charles Leclerc here. Let's try and make an overtake on him. Might be a little bit too far back on this first straight to make an overtake. Depends how powerful DRS is and what straight line speed is like.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
Decent personal best there. We're not going to be close enough now, so we'll just turn the engine down and focus on turn 1, 2 and 3. Maybe try and get a good exit if we can. The problem is that soft tyre still holding on, and I'm still struggling for grip a little bit. Yeah, we're not going to get him just yet, unfortunately. A little bit too far back, I think, unless we can pass him down towards the hairpin maybe. If we get a nice clean run through the downhill S's. Good traction there. Let's get on the brakes nice and late. Try and throw the car in. Good first sector there, personal best. Yeah, no, that's a little bit dirty air, just sending me wide there at the second one. So we're going to put the pressure on, but we need to try and pass Leclerc if we can. Okay, here we go. This is the one.
Sebastian is in the pits.
I think we're close enough here. Seb and also Lewis Hamilton pit in. We've got the run on Leclerc here. Let's try and send one down the inside, I think. Down the inside at turn 1, a little bit tight on the apex. I've not got much room to move. Leclerc's going to try and hold it around the outside. Side by side here, up the hill. We pick up the DRS and there we go. We're in front. Let's just make sure Leclerc doesn't send one back down the inside. And there we go, that'll do nice and tidy there. Very nice move on Charles, and I will take that. Up into P4 we go. Weber's not that far ahead, just 5.2, so let's try and keep him in our sights if we can, considering the tyre that he's on. So far my tyres still feel fine. I'm not really feeling the tyre at the minute, which is good. As we lock up the rears there, got to be careful of that. My 54% brake bias is working. This gives me a lot more pace, but at the same time, if I make one mistake and brake a little bit too aggressively or downshift too aggressively, I keep losing the rear end of the braking, and it's going to be a lock-up, and like a second and a half you lose trying to control the rear end slip. So yeah, so far so good, but a long way to go yet in this race. Let's try and keep our head down and make these medium tyres work. Okay, Charles pits in, so that's the pressure off from behind. And then we can run by ourselves in clean air, no pressure, and just do the work.
Okay, we think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon. We should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there.
We'll see. I feel okay. I don't feel too bad at the minute. I feel a lot better than I expected, to be honest, on my tyre wear. So we'll keep my head down. I'm not going to look at my tyre wear because it's a bit of like a psychological thing. I feel like if I look at it, I'm going to take it into account and start to drive badly. At the minute, the car feels good, so I'm just going to stick with it. Lucas Weber's really picking up the pace here. He was not too much quicker than me, but now he's really flying, and he's actually flying up to the back of those Mercs, who are currently 1-2 and have led the whole race so far. Mercedes have definitely, bounced back this race. This track seems to suit them more, and they've been a lot more competitive here. But I say that Weber's now making something, making a bit of an issue of it, and he's trying to force it a bit and trying to catch up and have a battle. So that's good news for us. I'm not sure if both Mercs are mediums. If so, then fair play. We've got to try and catch up. But at the minute, we're looking pretty good. I'm quite happy. And there you go. Devon Butler's actually on softs as Weber passes him, and actually he's in the pit lane.
Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the hards.
There you go. So Butler pits in. That was my bad. I thought he was battling with Weber there, but Butler went very long on those softs, and probably Lewis is still on the softs, staying out. So, not Lewis, sorry, Gasly. I still have to get used to that. That's going to take a while to get used to. Not seeing Lewis in the Mercedes is going to be incredibly foreign to me. But yeah, still we're looking good. Mediums are holding up well, and we're looking pretty damn tasty. I think this is working out okay so far, but I need to try and push on as much as I can and make some more progress. Right, Pierre Gasly pits in the other Mercedes, so there we go. We're now P2, and probably going to pit in next lap, I'd say, along with Lucas Weber. So let's just try to stay focused for 2 more laps, and try not to make any major mistakes, and try and stay with the lap time. I've been very consistent on these tyres, and pretty much matching my personal best as Lewis sets the pace, 30-0. Very quick lap there from him in the Red Bull, of course. There we go, that'll do. Pretty good in lap to be fair, I'm a 10th and a half up on my personal best. Get it all slowed down, and there we go.
Is in the pits.
It's a good stop. Oh, sorry, a good entry. Now we need a good stop. Come on, boys. Please give me a good stop.
Complete, go now.
That'll do, that's fantastic. 2-second pit stop, 2 seconds flat, no mistakes, pulled away at the perfect time. Lewis is on soft, so Lewis is going aggressive in the Red Bull, so he's going to 2-stop. So we'll see how this one pans out. Could be quite interesting. We're currently P8, about to be P9 as here comes Giovinazzi.
Strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
We've managed to rejoin back in front of Leclerc, which is good. So we're obviously battling with him earlier on, and we've still come out in front. Although we are on the back foot, of course, with these tyres. Luckily, we get pretty decent traction there, to be fair. And we're going to stay in front of him. So there we go. Right, P9. No more stops to do this race. So it's looking good for at least a couple of points this race. Now it's all about trying to have good, consistent pace on the hard tyres and making them work. I'm going to have a pop at the fastest lap on the next lap as well, so let's try and save up the ERS battery if we can. Right, I'm going to try and go for a purple lap here. The problem is, we've got Giovinazzi in front.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
So, what I'm thinking is we'll wait to the next lap. I'm going to try and pass Gio this lap, and then we'll try and then go for the fast lap on the next lap, hopefully with some clean air. So we'll just try and hold on to our fuel in the ERS if we can. And let's focus on passing this Sauber. Sorry, it's Alfa Romeo. Hopefully, I should get good traction here and get the run through the S's, and I can pass him down towards the hairpin. A bit far back actually. So we're going to have to sit back for now. I'm not going to just lunge one down the inside because the AI will probably turn in on me. I wonder if he can get one to the back straight again. That's another poor traction zone for me, because the AI are very good through here, and I'm really, really poor. So you can see there, I just struggle to get traction down, and Gio's going to stay in front. So again, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Right, then this time we're going to do it. We're going to just sit behind him, we'll pass him on the pit straight, and we'll get DRS in the process, so we'll get a nice little slingshot to really go for that fastest lap. Even though Lewis has to pit again in the Red Bull, we'll see if this could be enough. Here we go, overtake engaged. Let's fly past the Alfa Romeo. There we go. P7.
Great manoeuvre. You made it look easy.
A little bit of a rear lock up there. That's going to cost me some time, but that'll do. Let's try and race away now and try and set a good lap. Let's focus. I don't think the lap is going to stand. I don't think it's good enough. The sector 2 was not great. Up to the line. There we go.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
29.9. It's a good lap nonetheless, but I think, Lewis was in the pit lane just there. We saw him in the Red Bull. I think he's going to probably smash that on fresh tyres. So we're going to give it a go. Hopefully that is enough. We're currently P5, and we're not stopping anymore. So we're looking pretty good here. Sebastian Vettel up next up the road. He's got both Mercedes right in front of him. So there could be a podium up for grabs here. So let's get our head down and try and see if we have the pace on these hard tyres to chase after those guys. I've just noticed I've got the smallest bit of wing damage on the front left, which I have noticed a little bit of understeer kick in, but somehow it's not affected us too badly. Like I said before, I think that purple lap through sector 2, it didn't feel great. You know, I've got a little bit of understeer through fast corners, but it's not major. I can get away with it. But yeah, it makes sense. I had a little bit of understeer on the front, a little bit of front wing damage. So I've done quite well, all things considered. Not sure when I got that, but I'm doing okay with it, I've got to say. Sebastian pits in.
Sebastian's in for his stop.
Right, so that's him on a 2-stop as well. So that's going to mean we jump up into P4. And I believe the 3 cars in front of us are not going to stop again. So yeah, we've got Gasly and Butler right now in the midst of a big battle between the two of them right now. They're literally going side by side as Lewis snatches my fastest lap from me. There you go. So there goes our point. And Lewis is the next car behind us. So this could be interesting, this. The battle for the podium is on.
Our tyre data is looking positive so far. We think there's plenty of life left in these for the moment.
Look at this. For the second race in a row, Mercedes have a retirement. Pierre Gasly is out of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and again, is that down to the R&D reset? Mercedes may have not protected their upgrades on the durability side of things, and Gasly is out. One Mercedes a race now, Butler retired in Australia, that's the second one, and we're now once again gifted a podium in P3 in this race out of nowhere. Can we hold on to it though? There's about 10 laps to go, and Lewis is about a second and a half a lap quicker than me on those mediums. We're going to have to battle Lewis coming into the race in that Red Bull, I think it's inevitable. So it's not over just yet, but we're going to try and push on. Lewis not giving up. Another purple lap from him. He's really pushing on and his pace is really, really good. I'm pretty much equal pace with Devon Butler here. I'm not catching him, but he's not really pulling away. The gap's floating around 7 to 7.5 seconds pretty much. So yeah, with a couple of upgrades, I think we can definitely turn that around in our favour and start to catch the Mercedes. But for now, Lewis is a threat and that podium might not be guaranteed.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
Pretty much. Lewis is very quick, another fast lap from him. Nothing I can really do to respond. I'm just trying to run at a consistent pace. The car feels good and the tyres feel good. I feel happy on my pace, even with the little bit of front wing damage. I feel happy and nothing's really wrong. It's just Lewis is so much quicker in that Red Bull, of course, as we know. So yeah, it's going to be a matter of time now. He's probably going to be within DRS come the end of the lap. Right, here we go then. Out the final corner. Good exit. I haven't really got enough fuel to battle with. All I've got is ERS, but look at Lewis Hamilton go. 29.2, we're going to go defensive. Cover the inside. Come on, let's try and hold on. On the brakes, very tight on the apex there at turn 1. We're going to have to back out of that one. Try and get the power down. We'll get DRS up the hill. Can we try and return the favour here on Lewis? And not give up just yet. Around the outside. Lewis comes wide. He actually misses the apex. We are going to go on the outside though. And hold on, there we go. That's good stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Good defensive driving there. I managed to go around the outside. What a move that was. Lewis got a good exit there. He's going to get a nice toe. I'm going to see if I can hold on to the racing line into the final corner and try and get a good exit again. There we go, traction down, that will do. Here comes Lewis. He's going to get alongside me very early, which is good because he will lose a bit of straight line speed.
Teammate behind is 9.5 seconds.
Trying to push him up a little bit. He's very good on the brakes. Again, literally a carbon copy of the last lap. Let's try and do the exact same thing again. DRS from us. We're a little bit further back this time, but hopefully we can get him nonetheless. I'm going to go to the inside this time. And I'm going to be the one that goes a little bit wide mid-corner there like he did last lap. So there we go, back in front. We can keep doing that.
In front is 9.2 seconds.
That's not really that interesting at the minute, Jeff. I can't lie, that's not what the battle is. I can do this all day though. Taking those lines. I've got the tyres for it. I feel confident I can do that every single lap. That's a fantastic exit. Really, really good exit that time. But Lewis is still, of course, going to get the run on me here. I'm going to go defensive again. This time it feels like he's turned the engine up a little bit. And he's got a lot more momentum. He's going to get it done, I think, this time. Unfortunately for us, let's try and stay close. Through the kink. DRS, come on, let's try and stick with it. I'm going to use a little bit of fuel I have left. As Alex Albon retires, we lose the rear on the braking there. The 54% brake bias there pays the big price, and we're going to miss out on the position there, unfortunately. Too aggressive on the downshift and on the brakes, as Lewis makes the move for P3 with 2 laps to go, unfortunately for us. There we go, Lucas Weber wins in Bahrain, setting the fast lap on the last lap of the Grand Prix at 29.1.
Gap ahead is 2.3 seconds.
Don't worry, Jeff, it's not happening, mate. It really isn't. We're just going to have to let go. And P4 is the best we can do here today. Sebastian Vettel P5. But Lucas Weber wins the race. That's 2 out of 2 for him now this season. Really strong start for him. And he's really going for it. 50 points out of 50, or 51 if he picks up the fast lap, which Hamilton snatches away. We come home P4 though. A good race for us, not too bad. Grazie ragazzi.
Bad luck. It just wasn't our day today.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Right, so here we have the final race results as Lucas Weber wins the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of Devon Butler and Lewis Hamilton running off the podium, and then myself and Sebastian Vettel P4, P5 for both of the Ferraris, missing out on the podium positions. And yeah, overall that's where we are. We just don't have the pace at the minute and we need to improve the car. And then we've got Max Verstappen P6, very good recovery from him from P11 in the Alfa Romeo, and then we've got Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas and Antonio Giovinazzi rounding out the top 10. And that is it for your point scorers. Right towards the bottom of the table, Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon retire from the Grand Prix with a big fat DNF. But overall, that is it for Bahrain. And now we're going to look at the standings after that race. And as you can see, Lucas Weber, 50 out of 50 so far. Pretty good so far from him. Lewis Hamilton P2, we're currently P3. And Sebastian jumps up to P4 after that race with Pierre Gasly's retirement. So overall, even though we not had the quickest car, we're 3rd and 4th in the Drivers' Championship, which means we are going to be 2nd in the Constructors. But Red Bull already have 84 points to their name and are 36 points clear of us in the Championship. So it's a big, big gap already, and we need to try and make some progress and make it very, very soon. And we'll do some upgrades right now. But first of all, guys, I want to apologise in advance because I've had to do a mid-session save on the last lap because lately, since the patch, I've been having a lot of black screens. So when the game gets stuck on loading screens or changing from one event to the other, or from between sessions, and the game doesn't work, it just stays on the loading screen forever. And I had that after the race. So pretty much what happened was I had to close my game and restart it and finish the last lap again, which is going to mean that there's going to be no replay cams for this video, which I really do not like, but unfortunately I don't have much of a choice, and it's the hand I've been dealt, so I do apologise for that. With that being said though, let's jump into the laptop and let's upgrade this Ferrari car. Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and it is time for a couple of big upgrades. And like I said in the last episode, we're not focusing on minor ones, we're going to focus on some big ones to start the season off to really make up that ground early on. So we're going to jump into things here. First of all, we're going to go for engine power because we are the 4th best team and we need to change that. And Red Bull and Mercedes are considerably faster than us. So first of all, an engine upgrade for Spain. As you can see, it's going to take 3 weeks to arrive. It's going to be a major one, so we're going to get that in the car for pure engine power. And then also we're going to add on a major aerodynamic one as well, which is going to take 3 weeks to arrive. That will also arrive in Spain, and we've got just enough points to get it. So those two upgrades together will mean a big upgrade and a big push come Spain, and hopefully we can add to that in the next couple of episodes. Now hopefully in China, we probably won't do any upgrades in China unless I can afford maybe a minor one. But realistically, I want to try and wait till after Baku and put on some more upgrades. So let's see how we get on. Nonetheless, guys, that is it for this episode, though, of Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, drop a like on the video and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and this episode of Career Mode. And I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.